How's everyone? My name is Jake, and to start this video I have a question that I'd like you all to answer down in the comments. What is the best primary blaster for a scout/recon loadout? When putting together a scout/recon loadout, you have to think about what the job of a scout is. That being to relay back and forth information, try to find the fastest way to get to a checkpoint or goal, the safest way to get to a checkpoint or goal, and you need to be able to run with the gear you are running. I mean physically run with the gear that you have on you. Typically you want something light. And whatever weapon you have to defend yourself, you're going to want to have be effective and reliable and easy to use. Because as a scout, you're not really going to be going head first into the line of combat. You're going to be trying to avoid the enemy. But of course, when you do make contact with the enemy, you need to be able to defend yourself. Now, something effective, simple, easy to use, and that can be used one-handed is a hammer shot. This one I have here modified with a doubled up spring. Or maybe you want to be able to lay down a little bit more firepower. That's when something flywheel may come into hand, such as possibly a nightingale, a desert pigeon, a concept pistol, I think that's what it's called, but something along those lines. Something you can carry a few mags for that won't get in the way of you having to move around a lot. On the opposite end would be something that is small but has some range to it, such as maybe an Aeon Pro, a Spam, hell, even a modified Night Finder if you have the right spring and seals put into it. You just got to think about those three concepts: effectiveness, ease of use, and can you run with it. And again, I would like if everyone watching this video put your comments down below. Let me know what you think. What I think personally is something that I've been working on for quite a bit here. I've posted about it on Instagram. I've been giving updates on this build, so you probably already know my thoughts and you already know what this is going to be, but you don't know what it looks like, and we're going to get into that right now as I introduce to you guys my custom modified Crossbolt. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Amethyst Spike. So the Amethyst Spike, where did it come from? How did it get here? Something Cotton Eye Joe. Let's talk about it. The origins of the Amethyst Spike come from the first ever Film Battalion Twitch stream that we did way back on August 1st, and it has been a couple months since then. I actually don't know exactly how many, but it's been a while, and I do plan to do more Twitch streams. I know I made a big deal about going to Twitch. I just haven't been able to schedule the next one. I wanted to make them monthly, but whenever another one does happen and I have the time, I'm of course going to let you guys know. But focusing on this. During that first ever Twitch live stream, I actually focused on the Crossbolt. I wanted to get it working. I got it from a Hope of the Valley thrift store for like $2, and it was in complete disarray. It was dirty, it was clunky, it came with a mag loaded with 3 darts. So even just for that mag, because I don't have a lot of them at the time, I decided to pick it up. And it just sat in my closet for a long time. And so finally during that stream, I decided I'm either going to get it working or I'm going to scrap it. And if you're a bit squeamish, you might want to skip over this part, but during that stream, while trying to put it together, I somehow managed to bleed on this blaster. I was using my pliers and I pulled something a little too hard, and the pliers slipped, and it thumped this hand somehow, and it caused a blood boil to form, and then when everything was put back together, the hand with the blood boil went here on the top priming slide, which is pretty rigid, has a lot of corners here that can probably hurt something if you're not careful. And I wasn't careful, and I went to prime it, and I primed a little too hard, and I burst the blood boil on my hand, which caused me to bleed profusely onto this blaster. It wasn't anything super gruesome, but it definitely hurt a lot. I was playing it off like it was nothing, but it did actually sting quite a bit, and I was bleeding, so that should tell you right there how much it hurt. But yeah, after forming a literal blood tie, a blood bond with this blaster, I decided that one way or another, I am gonna get it working. And by the end of the stream, it still wasn't working. So in my own time, I had to go in and take care of everything. Springs went sploring in, locks were removed. Pretty much all of the locks that were in a stock Crossbolt are now gone. And what I thought was interesting, after comparing it to the full Crossbolt that Lorenzo gave to me, is removing those few locks really made it a lot lighter. That, and plus maybe the bow arms, but a modified crossbow in this form with the locks removed and the bow arms removed, it's a lot lighter, which is good because I will be using this as a recon blaster, although it probably also could be used as light infantry, but for my uses, this is a recon blaster. I took the locks out of it, got it working again. I had to take springs from Lorenzo's crossbow and put them into this one because the springs that I had missed and replaced just weren't cutting it. So I took stock springs from his crossbow and put it into this one, and now it's a lot smoother. The trigger is one of the best triggers I've ever felt, I'll be honest. I'm not sure if that's a hot take or not, but I really like this trigger. It's nice and snappy. It has a real responsive release. It's real nice. The overall profile and ergo of this blaster is just so nice. The grip really contours to your hand. It has this nice little rounded edge here for your thumb, and putting your hand here, it feels natural. You choke up on it and it feels maybe just a little too tight here, but you're probably gonna be more like priming it and then picking your shot, like reaching out and picking your shot, or you may be hip firing with some rapid fire. So yeah, it's really comfortable, minus this specific slide pump. It's not good. Don't get me wrong, smooth prime. I could do this all day, but after a while it starts to hurt, which is why specifically for this blaster, you do probably need to wear gloves such as I have here. So what I have on are just some run-of-the-mill leather fingerless biker-esque gloves. I may get some more fancier tactical gloves down the future, but all reliable. These things are actually really nice and comfortable. They were given to me by an old friend, and I'm so glad that I still have them. These are actually really nice and comfy. And when you're going to be putting rounds into this thing, it really helps a lot. I probably could have sanded down the edges on this thing and made it a bit more smooth and less rough, but I didn't want to risk over sanding, and it looks nice. It may be a bit rough, but it does look nice. You just maybe want to make sure you got some gloves on, and maybe make sure you don't have any blood boils on your hand like I did. So to go more into detail about these micro bow arms, I found these on Thingiverse. They were printed to me by Lorenzo. You probably saw me unbox these the same time I unboxed the whole other crossbolt he gave me, which raises a pretty funny thing about this, is that it's basically two crossbolts that kith. I made his crossbolt kith my crossbolt, and now I have this Frankenstein of crossbolts. Pretty much one entire half of my crossbolt decided, hey, I don't want to be painted anymore, and it decided to crack when I put clear coat on. I tried to remove paint in certain areas with citrus strip, but then the citrus strip sat on too long, and yeah, a whole side of the blaster just was not working with me. So I had to take half of his blaster and put it onto my blaster, which resulted in some pretty gnarly pictures. Now the original plan was just to take the stock bolt arms, cut them off, shave it down flat, and then re-source the string somewhere else, but that wasn't working for me. I couldn't find anywhere to actually put it, so I got the micro bolt arms from Lorenzo. Again, thanks a lot. Without him, this build literally could not happen, and I'm so thankful that he's just the amazing person he is. So go give him some love. I'll link his Instagram and YouTube channel in the description. Give him a subscribe, give him a follow. He's a great guy. And then the string that these things are holding is also not stock. I got these from Lord Drax video, who recommended this alternate bungee you could use. I don't know if it really offers much in the way of a performance boost, but it definitely looks cool. I took a length of it, I tied some knots in the ends so that they don't slip through the hole that they're being pushed through. I cut off the marred ends, burned it so that it doesn't fray everywhere, and yeah, it's really nice. But this also leads to the one problem with this blaster. It has a smooth prime, but when you prime it, you gotta really make sure that it's all the way back before you go forward, otherwise you'll miss a shot and it won't feed a dart. It's not a huge problem, you get used to it pretty easily, but that's the one thing. It could be that this string is under a lot of tension. I kind of want to see if it can handle more, but that'll be somewhere down the line. I should also mention that I used Lord Drag's guide as well as a guide from Mag212 in order to actually properly put this thing back together and take the locks out and everything of that nature. So links to those will be in the description as well. And a PSA, please try not to bleed on your crossbolt like I did. It was not fun. And now, discussing all that, that brings us into this custom paint job and color scheme. How did I come up with this? Well, if you don't know, I'm a fan of a cartoon called Steven Universe. And in that show, there was a character named Amethyst. That post makes a lot of sense now, doesn't it? I told you there would be context. It's Amethyst, who is purple. Purple is my favorite color. This is a crossbow. Crossbows shoot arrows. Arrows could be called spikes. So this became the Amethyst Spike. We of course have gray on the bottom with a grape and lavender tiger stripe camo put over it. I used a stencil from Primary Arms that I won't say how much it cost because I'm really embarrassed that I paid that much for a stencil. But I used that. Got this tiger stripe camo here. The gray and the grape are both from Rust-Oleum. The lavender I used is from Bear Paint. I think that's what it's called. I may have to check again. But yeah, and then all the orange is left the same. The white and black is also Rust-Oleum. And that's how this all came together. Orange strap, of course. So yeah, this is inspired by a cartoon character. Let's talk about running the Amethyst Spike. As you can see, we're starting with an 18-round stick mag. Once this runs dry and you need to reload, you move on to some 6-rounders. Which is when we move into the gear I have to support the Amethyst Spike. This is my battle belt. It's not the best battle belt, but this one is mine. I actually had it before getting heavily into the Nerf hobby because I wanted to use it just as a normal belt. But it works as a battle belt too. It's really nice. And in this Nerf camo ammo bag, we have 8 6-round mags. So you go from the 18-round stick mag into a 6-round mag. Slide that into there. And in my opinion, it looks better with a 6-round mag. Of course, you get more capacity with the 18-round mag. But if you're doing a recon loadout and you're a scout, you really don't need all that much ammo because you're not focusing on fighting, you're focusing on getting to and from checkpoints in just different places around the map. So with 8 6-round mags and that 18-round mag, you have 66 full rounds in your loadout, which I don't think is bad. I think that's actually a pretty decent set. So the entirety of this loadout is a work in progress, focusing on just being able to support the Amethyst Spike. I'm missing 2 things. I need a 2-point sling so I could hook one end up here on the front, one end up here on the back, and then be able to sling this onto my back so that when I run out of ammo, I can just have it on my back instead of dangling by my side, because I have a single-point sling, but it dangles and bounces around, and when you're running, as a scout should be, that's going to get really uncomfortable and really cumbersome. Just as it would be cumbersome to carry more mags and bigger mags, which is why I think these 6-rounders and the 118 is perfect. But then of course, what do you do with all your empty mags? Well, you could drop them wherever you are, or you could put them in a dump pouch, which is another thing that I am missing. The idea is all your empty mags go into your dump pouch, and as you run along from place to place, you are picking up darts and putting those into your dump pouch, which you can reload and put into your mags at a later date when you have some downtime or when you're in a safe space. I'll also show on my battle belt I do have an eBay special holster here for my sidearm, which I am going to be building a specific sidearm for this loadout, which will be probably the next video coming out. But just to show you, which is really important to me, it will hold a hammer shot nice and snug, just like that. It's really nice. There is technically a few more things that I need to support the Amethyst Spike, because this, though it does look complete, is not a final stage Amethyst Spike. There is still one more thing I need to add on to this, and it does require a bit more kit and a bit more gear. But that's for a later date. So for now, that's just about all you need to know about the Amethyst Spike. More updates about this particular loadout and what's going to come next for the Amethyst Spike will be coming soon. For now, Future Jake I think is going to take it away, and he's going to do a full loadout dump and put all 66 rounds down range, and that'll be it for me. So Future Jake, come on down. Hi, how's it going? It's me, Future Jake. You probably aren't expecting me to be in the room still. You're probably expecting me to be putting some foam down range outside, and I did put some foam down range. I put quite a lot of it. I emptied the entire loadout 4 different times, and each time I ran into a lot of issues and was quickly humbled and embarrassed by how poorly the Amethyst Spike actually performs. The three concepts I talked about at the start of this video: reliability, easy to use, and effectiveness. Now, this is easy to use, but reliability and effectiveness are heavily put into question with the amount of jams and issues I ran into while running this. Now, I want to preface this by saying that you're probably not going to unload all 66 rounds within 5 minutes, so you may not need to worry too much about jamming and gumming up your blaster, but it still really bothers me just how much it happened, and I wish I could show you how much it happened. In fact, here, let's see if we can put a compilation of all the times I jammed in here. We got one hit on the last one, switching over, and we already got an issue. Uh-oh. Oh, gosh. Yeah, this... Damn. And now that we've seen that, let's talk more about this. So what actually happened? Well, you'd think that a stringer can't jam, but if it doesn't feed properly, sometimes the string will go over the dart and then not fire, but it will still carry it down the barrel, in which case you would have to pull the string back far enough to where it stops having hole in the dart and it can fall out the barrel. Another thing that I've seen happen is it pushes a dart back into this little recess that's right in here, and it squishes it up against there real good and tight, and it just refuses to feed anymore. At which point you would have to remove the mag, try to jimmy it out of there. I used some like 9-inch pliers I got recently, specifically for stuff like that and reaching out jams. That's what the pliers are for. Yeah, that is a thing that can happen. And then depending on how worn your darts are, it can actually split the dart in half as it fires. So it would fire, the dart would be in here, and then it releases the string to fire it, and instead of firing it, it splits the dart in half and it gets stuck in the barrel. And these few issues I ran into quite a bit. So I'm thinking that maybe this doesn't like Adventure Force waffle tips, because I was using waffle tips, but some of them also were kind of inconsistent because they were old darts. I had a mix of old and new darts. So further experimentation is going to have to be done with this thing to see what the best ammo to use with it is. I'll probably try using chili darts and even elite darts. But the thing is, when it does work, it works proficiently. It's a really good blaster when it works, and I hate trying to sell you a blaster that only works when it decides it wants to work. Try to pass this blaster off as a scout blaster, which should be reliable, easy to use, and effective. While it's only one of three of those things, it doesn't sit right with me. So instead of putting in the firing footage, I decided to make this little PSA at the end to explain the issues and the further TLC and experiments that are going to be done with this. I thought perhaps it could also be the mags. Maybe it just doesn't like 6-round mags. Maybe there's something with the follower, or I don't know. I'm really not sure, but there are some problems that I'm going to figure out, and I want to give you guys an honest, true opinion. I don't want to try to pass off some firing footage and tell you guys, oh yeah, this thing's great. It's not great. It's good, but it's not quite great yet. But even with all that said, I'm still really happy with this. I'm still really happy with this, and I'm going to keep working on it. And I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys like the Amethyst Spike. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know what you think is a good recon or scout blaster. And I will see you guys next time.